Hello, gals, blokes, and all other folks. My name is Mortius, and welcome to the final episode of this collaboration of myself and Timo, aka Teagan Growl, aka Athena, aka my new bestie. I have been having such a good time today going through this album. If you have somehow clicked on this and not the previous two, I gotta be honest, it's just not gonna make sense. Our conversations are so building on top of each other, in addition to the music being designed to kind of build on top of each other. Everything about this experience is built on what has come before it. So I'm not normally the type of person to be like, hey, don't watch this video unless you watch my other content first, but it's just not gonna work for you. If you are here and you have seen the rest of it though, you know that this has been a hell of a journey. And I say that in the best way possible. We've gone up, we've gone down, and I say that in our emotions, in our tempo, in our vocal range, most of all, dear God, woman, and I say that in the best way possible. Do you have any thoughts to share with me or the audience before we get into the final batch of 3 of this incredible piece that you have assembled?
Thank you. Well, first of all, thank you for coming on this journey with us. It's been such a pleasure to get to talk about some things in more depth than I've previously gotten to. So thank you for being such a wonderful, immaculate host. But yeah, we've cried, we've laughed a little, and now we're gonna dance a little, and I think that'll be. Oh, and then, so the final, we'll get there. When we get there, I can say more about this, but the final track on this album was originally not going to be part of this set of release, but because of reasons, I decided to put it out a little early. So it's actually a hint towards what's coming next, and it is so laden with clues, and I'm very excited to hear everyone's theories on that.
Wait, no. I come from the Gravity Falls era. If you tell me that, we'll spend an entire hour on just that video alone.
Mortius, I was literally watching Gravity Falls last night. I'm not even joking.
No, I'm telling you, it's so bad. If you try to tell me that there's hidden clues, I've literally told people, and I'm gonna get some flack for this, but it's the funniest thing that I say about myself. I love these kind of clues so much. I'm like, if I liked her music, I'd be the worst kind of Swiftie. I would absolutely be that one who's going through. And to be clear, I don't dislike her music. I'm just not like it. I'm very just like, that was a good song. Continuing with my day, I enjoy her music, but I'm not someone who dives into it. But if I was someone who dove into her music, God, I know I would be exactly that, the next release is because of she uploaded on this day and took this flight number, and now we know the date of the next. I would totally be that kind of person, because I was. So God, if you tell me that this whole thing is just supposed to be a, clue-riddled tease for what's to come, we're gonna spend an entire hour just on that 5-minute video. Forget this entire last batch. Oh no! Danger, danger, danger!
Yeah, what I will say
Okay.
is I was raised in the Church of Swift. That is my girl. I adore her. I have made it canon that Athena is a massive Swiftie, so we're there. It is accounted for. And I was allowed to be in theater longer than she was, because she obviously had her whole career blow up and went to the pop world, whereas I spent a much longer time being dramatic for money. So therefore, I'm like Miss Taylor, but worse. Because people were saying it on my live last night for the release, I am all about lore. In my mind, because I wrote this music, all of it is already connected. I have a entire Cineverse in my brain for Timo the character and her experiences in this realm.
Oh no.
So even though we're going to be jumping from Mother to something completely different in the future,
we're also not.
In the near. it is all connected.
Yeah.
And there are so many, if you know how to look for clues, then you will be able to figure out what's coming up. So
you're like I'm a Swiftie and a Gravity Falls and a drama kid. You can't stop me.
Literally, I'm the worst type of person, aka.
And that's exactly why I joke, because I am those other two. That's why I'm saying if I was a Swiftie, I would be the worst kind, because that's exactly how I'm wired, and I just somehow narrowly dodged the bullet of that fandom.
You would have been me.
I would. That's the only separation. There we go.
You've met your darker self, and it's
my Swiftie self, and it's the goddess of wisdom and war.
Yes, literally.
Okay, we went on a whole tangent there, but I'm very excited to check these out. I will try to get that idea out of my head so I can enjoy the end of Mother as it is intended, but I am excited to get to that as we get to it. But now it is time for an epilogue, which was the last song before the EP, or before the deluxe version, right? So this was kind of originally the ending, which means I'm so curious what 4 is going to be, but I can't think about that yet. Okay. We're just gonna hop right on into it. Here we go. I'm so curious. Immediately loving the uplifting tone. Oh no! Ah!
A year out from the day, and it still feels like yesterday.
You can't hurt me in the first line of every song. There's some of them that, like, I know we're building to something more positive, but can you start positive once? I know that's not what a journey like this feels like. It doesn't actually get to start positive, and I know that's part of the point, but come on, man. You can't get me with the first lyric every time. A year since it happened, and it still feels like yesterday. Dear Lord.
And because what happened with this one is originally Mother 3 was supposed to be the end of the EP. Like there was
and I could totally see that.
And then that one was written probably 8 months after the original incident. And so then all of a sudden, like I said, this happened a couple days before Christmas when it initially occurred. And so 12/22, which is where the title comes from.
Yes.
And I was shaking, like I literally rolled out of bed and I was like, oh my God, I must have had a horrible dream or something. Like my whole body was shaking and I felt sick to my stomach and everything just felt really weird. It was a physical reaction. And I was like, oh my God. And I felt so weird all day. And then I was scrolling through my phone and I realized, like on Snapchat memories or something like that like I had been in the emergency room a year before at that exact same time. And so I was like, oh my gosh, the way the body remembers things that your brain like tucks away to protect you, insane to me. And so that's like, I immediately sat down and I started writing this and it was done within like an hour, I think.
Wow. I mean, sometimes, yeah, no, I totally get that. And yeah, it's incredible what you're talking about. I'll say it as kind of an uplifting and then just move past Excel while I set up to it. But like, for those of you out there, I know a lot of this is that connection and that like helping people feel less alone. And I just want to remind people, like, I'm sure there's people who are still feeling it every year, and it won't always, it doesn't happen fast, but it gets better. And that's something I said a lot in my All You Want to Do reaction, but like, I feel like this is going to depending on where people are in their journey, this might be both discouraging and encouraging at the same time. Yeah. But this year is 8 years later for me. And this is the first year I didn't notice the date pass. It'll happen. It can take a long time. 8 years is a long time. And if you're early in your journey, that might hurt. That might hurt to hear. That might feel like an impossible number to get through. Yeah. But it happens eventually. And even if it takes 8 years, there will be a year where you get to a point and you're like, oh my God, the anniversary was last week. This is the first year I didn't notice when I woke up and looked at the calendar. So I just wanted to, as you're talking about the way that your body and mind can remember, I wanted to also reassure people in their journey but not forever, or at least not as much forever.
Yeah, and it's not a linear process either. Like this whole song is about how healing isn't linear, and it's not something that it doesn't like pain doesn't last forever, but it does last for a long time usually. And even when you think that the worst is over, there are going to be moments when it pops back up. And that is okay. Like it doesn't mean that you're less healed or you're less whole in any way. It just means that there's a scar there, and that scar is always going to be part of you, and like learning to love that scar rather than be afraid of it is another really beautiful, difficult process as well. And so like I think that, but yeah, healing not being linear, I think is like one of the biggest themes of where this all ends, because I was like fully like, wow, I wrote a whole EP and now I'm better.
And how many hours did that last? I love talking with you so much. And also, we are 14 seconds in and 13 minutes in.
That sounds about right.
Died upon that slab.
Nope, hold on. I need that lyric. Whoa.
Feels like yesterday that some part of me died upon that slab of steel.
Yeah.
When you think that you can swim, you don't expect the tides to pull you in, especially when you're wading into rivers ankle deep.
These visuals are already my favorite of any of them so far. Like I love the space. That's stunning.
I'm haunting my own body, a ghost miserable and lost, the spirit of that January and everything it caused. How I wish I could return to claim the parts of me that burned. Oh, I was me.
Oh, I love the change in tone here. I love the change in timbre, the change in vocal, the hold on right now.
How I wish I could return to claim the.
Well, I was like, it could have so easily been like, how I wish I could return to claim. Like, it would be, that's where I thought it was staying, but to be able to go like, to like bring it up to begin the power and meaning and symbolism behind being able to introduce the uplifting while the language still hurts. You can you can start to lift up even when the word, like even when the thing is still bad, it can still start to go up. It doesn't, you don't have to wait for it to be better to be lifted up. Like that's incredible.
Yes, that is this song. Is
Good.
You can be mostly fine. You can be mostly fine. You can be
okay.
going about your day-to-day life. You can look at children in a park without literally like crying your eyes out for hours. Because life does go on, and you adjust, and you're a survivor. You always survive, and things get better. Until there's that moment when they're not great, you know, like, and so it can be both things. I don't think that this is a sad song. I think this is a melancholy song. Like it is, it's the moment of acceptance, but there is a twinge of just kind of like nostalgia and melancholy to it. It's not like dirgy, like Mother 2 is dirgy. We sit there and we slog through the heaviness of that. Whereas this one is very much like, yeah, I wish I was the same, but I'm not.
Yeah.
And both of those things can exist. I can recognize that I love the person that I used to be, and I can mourn her. But I can also recognize that the person I am today only exists because of that sacrifice.
That's you just reach into my brain. Teagan.
You and me. We're here.
Oh my
Parts of me
God.
that burned. Oh, I was mean at times, but at least that was a choice. Ambitions waiting by the door finally so long we can't recall her voice. It's a gold rush fever panning for the simplest bits of joy. How I used to get things done, and honey, Lord help anyone that stood between me and the empires I made.
Ooh.
Now when shit gets hard, I walk, and I can't stand it when I start to talk. I hate it more than you, that I can't put it in a grave. How I wish I could return.
Okay.
The parts of me that burn. No, I was mean at times. At least that was a choice. Ambitions waving by the door, finally returning from the war. But she's been gone so long, we can't recall her voice.
Wow.
It's a gold rush fever panning for the simplest bits of joy. Moving on to luxury they'll say I can't afford. But with pockets starved of gold dust, babe, just how can I be sure? If time heals every wound, but no one mourns the wicked dead, then she'll be trapped forever with the sorry tears she shed.
The lyricism!
Cute. This is genuinely one of my favorite songs I've ever written, so it makes me really happy.
It's exceptional. I feel like I'm pausing a lot less, and I hope that that's not like they're like this. This is the most this is the most that anything on this album has transported me into myself.
Oh,
The
I
other
love that.
songs did a really good job of transporting me to you. And that's something I was talking about, where like you were helping me live an experience I've never even known people had to live. But this one, I feel like what we talked about so much about how it was like when you get to the end, that anthem, it like you got it when you make something so niche, you got to bring the end to be more accessible to everyone. I really think you succeeded, because this is the first time where I feel like you haven't pulled me to you, but you've sent it to me. And it's beautiful,
Love that.
and I appreciate it so much.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it, and like allowing yourself to be pulled in that way. That makes me like genuinely. This is, I think, one of my favorite songs I've ever written.
It should be. It's amazing.
I was listening to a lot of Boy Genius and Stevie Nicks when this one was written, as you can probably tell by the sonic shift in it. Yeah, it's a very, very special song to me, and like. I do feel like it's the most universal one on the album, which is why I had to make the radio. I was like, I want to make the radio edit.
That makes sense, actually. I'm curious to hear how you brought it together. I'll have to go find that afterwards.
Silly because, like, you were saying, like, I'm pausing a lot less, and I'm like, yeah, because the song flows.
It does.
It doesn't feel like 5.5 minutes,
doesn't.
even though it is 5.5 minutes. Which why, like, when I had to go and like make cuts for this
you were
song,
like, ugh.
agonizing like 4.5 hour process of me and JP and JP being like, what if we did this? And I'm like, no,
I want to keep it. Don't take it away from me. I get it.
You feel me?
They remember what the mind tries to forget.
Ah.
Bodies, they remember what the heart saw as a threat.
Oh.
It remembers what the mind tries to forget. My body still remembers what my heart saw as a threat. Wish I could return to claim the parts of me that burned. Oh, I was mean at times. At least I made a choice. Ambitions waiting by the door, finally returning from the war. But she's been gone so long, we can't recall like anything at this point. How I wish I could return to claim the
It's a lot.
for a reason to be strong.
Somehow it feels like this is only the beginning. But I guess that means I'm getting better, doesn't it? How much the body remembers feeling is not linear, but we find a start in the end and we go from there.
That's it? We don't... Oh! 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 Ah!
She moves.
Oh!
She moves.
Oh! That one... whew. That one was a lot. That one was a lot. Wow. I love that. What a good finale that would have been. And we still get another whole song for the mother.
Yeah,
Mother
and then
4.
there's more.
And then there's more. But yeah, I mean, both times I've been satisfied. Like, I was like, Mother 3, great ending. Epilogue, great ending. Like, with... Mother 3 was the perfect epilogue for Teemo. Was the perfect ending for Teemo, and the epilogue was the perfect ending for the audience. That's how I'm gonna say it.
Love that.
That's how I feel about it. Which brings me to wonder, what the heck is Mother 4 gonna be? I don't like that answer. That makes me nervous. Oh, I'm just gonna press play. Oh God. Ooh, bringing us all the way. Oh. Sync Watch is my mortal enemy!
Yeah, Sync Watch. You're ruining the flow, love.
Here we are, empty womb, incision scars, waiting rooms. I tried so hard, turned to Jesus, pills and cards to make it right. I look down, I'm making rust.
The delivery of this and a little bit of the instrumentals, it's definitely different. Like, it's not like it doesn't even feel like it was intentionally inspired by it, but I'm very instantly feeling I Don't Need Your Love from 6. That's kind of...
Okay, and it's interesting that you say that, because it very much kind of fits in that if we're looking at 6 as like an arc, you know, and it goes through the individual story, and then it concludes and it shows where all of those ended up. This is like that for the mother. Like, she all of a sudden ends, like, in my mind, she's the Kay Howard of, like, she went through all of this, she coped with it, and then she has a lounge singing job at a jazz club. And now that's like, so she sings these songs over and over and over again in this jazz club, and which is why, like, this was inspired in part by that kind of like style.
But yeah, I like that. I like that a lot, and I'm glad I picked up on at least a thematic cohesion, even if it was not an intentional musical reference.
Heart, turn to Jesus, pills and cards to make it right. I look down, I'm making rust, and there's not even enough to tempt the hungriest of gods to take the sacrifice.
Ooh.
And my friends all bounce their babies, say what's meant to be, it will be. And I feel
hate
the
that
fury
phrase.
rising in my throat. I stroke it gently and it melts at the touch of a hand meant for someone else. A dream that lives inside me somewhere very deep and old. Oh, I've lived 1,000
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I'm giggling because this one always makes me feel nervous inside.
Oh my God. I scr- I Oh,
Well, and what's funny
that has
about
so many
that is
layers
I
to it.
said earlier that The Good Officer is the only song I've written that doesn't live in this world of
Uh-huh.
Mother.
But
Um, then when I was writing this song, I had just started, like, I had just finished The Good Officer and put that
mhm.
out and stuff like that. And so all of a sudden I was like, oh, could I be hanging out with ghosts and like throwing all my time and attention into like taking care of ghosts because like something else is missing from my life? LOL, that's crazy. So that's where that line came from actually was in relation to The Good Officer.
Which
And so
makes
that
sense. But also, is there, and let me know if I'm reading into this, because I'm curious, because at first I heard the gravestone line, and I was like, oh, that story you told me in the exclusive footage at the beginning of the reaction for you patrons, go support if you want to see it. But I remembered that story you told me, and I took that line literally. And then the next line hit, and I was like, oh, is it intentional, or did I stumble upon something accidental and beautiful? Because to me, yes, it's what you just said, where you're focusing on these ghosts, actual spiritual, like you're focusing on these ghosts to distract you from other things. But also, could you not say, I scrub gravestones till they gleam, because at least ghosts mean there's company. This empty house can't even be called haunted. Is that hearkening back to the body and the womb itself? Like you mourn for the children lost, because if you view it as like you scrubbing the gravestones as in remembering the dead, you view it as, or the lost. I feel like dead's not the right word to use in that context, but the
yeah, yeah,
lost,
yeah.
mourning the lost instead of viewing it as empty, because if you just view it as empty, then there's not even company. It can't even be called haunted. It's just empty.
Yeah, no, you are, that is, it's a double entendre. One is like a nod to my actual experience as a songwriter and like, and then the other is exactly that. Like all that symbolism represents. And I mean, we think of, was Theo kind of a ghost in her mind? Like he never existed, but he existed to her. And like, what does that mean for, you know, like she, and this whole song, obviously the full title of the song is A Still Hopeful Love Letter. And so
Yeah,
she's writing a letter to Theo and to the children that she might never have, as like, you're still with me even though you never were, in a
yeah,
weird way. And so like she's kind of, it's written in that the poetic elements are geared towards like supporting all of that imagery. Absolutely, you did not stumble upon that. You hit it right on the head.
woo, I did it.
Screaming your name, the whole thing.
Fascinating. That's amazing. That's such good. Oh,
An empty house can't even be called haunted. It's only what I wanted. Just a tiny little thing that I wanted. Here you are, smiling up from yellow flowers on the playlist in my car, and the wind between the stars waiting to be new. I try not to cry at airport parents bleary-eyed, each carrying a sleeping child. A goodbye.
oh, alto Teagan, my
Yep,
heart,
she dips in.
my heart. I thought I'd had enough of you.
Cry at airport parents bleary-eyed, each carrying a sleeping child.
And each note I thought was just like, each carrying a sleep. Like, it kept going lower. You're so good.
We went full jazz mode for this.
Oh, you're right, yeah. And that's what you said at the beginning, how that's your head. Ah!
It's all connected.
God, this is incredible. This is a masterpiece. This is a entire just piece of art. This is a museum that you have created for my ears to walk through, and it's absolutely incredible.
Oh, that is my whole heart right there. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that was
Truly.
weirdly poetic. I'm not normally that good with words, but that's every once in a while it comes out. So you can put that on the album cover and just put it.
Or we gotta write a song together about that.
I mean, I'm not gonna say no, Teagan.
I'll tell you, they can't make me break it to you. You know I've lived 1,000 lives and been a mother every time.
Love that lyric.
Why not this time? Why not this life?
Oh.
I'll scrub gravestones till they gleam, 'cause at least ghosts mean there's company. An empty house can't even be called home.
And now that I know it's being written to.
And despair's a tricky beast, tracked me home after the procedure. And fed her, let her sleep with me in bed. And I loved her, tearing down the hall. I loved her, ripping up my walls. Yes, I let her, 'cause it echoed something else I thought was dead. I loved her, she was better than remembering. Time stood still.
Oh.
I've lived 1,000 lives and been a mother every time. Why not this time? Why not this life? I'll scrub gravestones till they gleam, 'cause at least ghosts mean there's company. An empty house can't even be called undead. So I'll close my wearied eyes and return to every other life.
Oh, there it is.
Was your mother or you?
No, I actually had that thought at one point in one of the earlier mothers where I was
Yes.
like, there was one where you hit something and I was like, I even thought to myself where I was like, oh, I feel like that would have been the perfect time to introduce that grid I know you're so good at. And honestly, the only reason I didn't say it is because I don't want to fall into the pitfall of being like, Timo, Athena. Like, I want to allow them and allow you to allow them to be separate things. I don't want to be like, oh, that Athena growl I love so much, where is it? But also, I'm so glad it showed up. And that was the perfect time for it.
I love me a little growl.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love me a little. She always will show up if you get me singing long enough, and it's so fun because like it got to the point in Epic where I was like, I need to chill out. Like this is too much.
No,
Because growl
never.
is too much.
No.
And so then I became more careful about it in other music. And yeah, I didn't realize until I listened to it all the way through in the editing phase. I was like, oh my God, I really like leaned away from that here.
Yeah.
So here I let it come out a little bit more.
I love it. I love it so much. Yeah, no, I don't think you do it too much. Literally, like, as far as a single line reading in the show, I can't say like the actual line of the song, but just a single delivery. If you may be like, what is the single best like delivered line in all of Epic? I would go, I don't know where I went wrong. I love that. Love it so much. I don't know
too.
where I went wrong and the don't know where oh, it's so good. Anyways, getting distracted. Hey,
confusing.
we
I love it.
have talked
Love
about
it.
Epic surprisingly little. We should be very proud of our self-control. We've been doing pretty good so far.
I'm very impressed.
Wearied eyes and return to every other life.
Ah, so good.
Was your mother or you were mine? Let those crumbling gravestones gleam.
Oh.
I'd like to see them try to keep you from me. You haunt me. I'm alive 'cause I've wanted.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that the thing that I hum at the end there is the Theo. I thought that I was strong until
Oh.
all you were. So that brings that back.
Wow. I think each time I'm going to give something like a different award because so far, like, Mother 2 is going to be my favorite one, just like lyric, like as a song and as a fellow, like, writer and appreciator of songs sometimes. I feel like Mother 2 is my favorite structured song. Mother 3 is the one I'm going to like singing most. Mother 4 is the one I'm most excited to hear you sing.
Oh, thank you.
Like imagining you just like treating a microphone like it's your best friend and just leaning into the ending of that, those soulful lows and those long goodbyes and a hum at the end. Listening to Mother 4 live will be an ethereal experience.
And it's so funny you say that. Like I swear we share a brain somehow. Like somehow, some way over time and space we share a brain because this is the only song that while I was recording it and while we were building it, like while we were writing it, I kept saying to JP like, okay, we won't do this for the recording, but like I can just imagine when we're doing it live, like that
It's okay. People will find out when they come to your tour.
Yeah, exactly. But like the long held, like I'm gonna like really like milk out. It's the until
Yes.
I've lived 1,000 lives and like really go into that. And it was one of the only songs that while I was writing it, I was imagining it more as a live performance.
And that's exactly how I saw it. So you did
that's
so
what
well.
I'm saying.
But
Give me back my
also,
brain
I am
cell. I
so
need
sorry
it.
to the audience because you looked like you just gave the greatest performance of your life, but whatever laptop microphone you're using literally just can't handle Teagan. And you like went, and the microphone was like, I can't transmit this much talent.
Yeah.
I can't get that much through me. I'm just a little laptop microphone.
This is a consistent problem. Me and that laptop microphone. We just. I'm trying to record demos. and I'm not even sing. Like I didn't even sing full voice for that. And it's like no.
I can't do it.
I'm like, get over it. Do you know how loud I can get? Consider yourself lucky. I could break you. I could really do it. I'm choosing not to, and you still can't handle it.
I could break you. Oh my god, that's an incredible sentence. And now we get to the big finale, which I am just terrified for. I'm going to try so hard not to pause and theorize at every single little thing, even though I know that's exactly what I do. We've got a clue, the tower, the sort of branch between the mother's story and what comes next. I'm so excited. I'm so curious.
It's quite the show.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It's a very sad song for a closer, though.
It's a love song,
Aren't they all?
I suppose.
Love this voice. Who voices the stranger?
Oh, crazy enough, it is my partner Joe, who's also an actor. He's immensely talented. His full name is Joey Shalius, and when I actually wrote The Tower, which is the song that you'll hear next, very long time ago. It was one of the first songs that I wrote post like one. And it was just kind of like a I had the idea and so I wrote it all down and I didn't really do much with it. So then when we were thinking with how to introduce certain things that are forthcoming, I was like, I really want to find a way to like connect these two. Like, and in my mind, they're already connected, but I don't know how to, like, how do I say that we went from a jazz club to this other place? Like, whatever. And then JP's like, you're going to hate me for this, but would it be crazy to do like a scene? And when I say that I listen to more like graphic audiobooks than anyone on this earth. And so immediately my brain went to like, oh my God, full scene, sound effects. We're going to basically produce a mini audiobook in between the songs. And that's going to be the transition. And it's going to be great. And he was like,
okay.
Yeah. At which point I brought Joe in because Joe is an incredible actor. who has like a gorgeous voice, but then he's also really good with dialect work. And so I was like, any chance we could add like a little southern flair to this character.
I love it. Yeah, it's perfect. Wait.
He's awesome.
See, I wasn't even leading into it, but then you said for reasons, and now you have me thinking about if even that's a clue. God, you're ruining my brain.
It starts right away.
Listen, I've got to be getting home, but thanks again.
Oh, what? So you can come back and do this again tomorrow?
Yes, of
And
course.
the next night and the next night after that?
Sorry, who are you?
I could be a friend.
Ah,
If you let me.
I see what this is. I've got all the friends I need. Thank you very much.
Are you sure about that?
Listen, mister. I don't know who you are.
you
I don't know why
always
you're
know-
here. And I
Yes,
don't know
you
what you
do.
think
Oh,
you know
what
about
would
me.
I do
But perhaps
know,
for the
you
first time
mean?
in my life, I am content. I have enough. This is enough.
If you say so.
I do.
But in case you change your mind, here's my card.
Why have you only come now?
I only come when called, darling.
Now, tragically, I don't know enough about tarot to be able to pick up on the clues that I'm sure you've woven in with the timing of these cards. So that's going to be my one big weak spot there. But that's a super fascinating intro. I love the way your partner approached the vocals there. That's really cool. I love all of that. The why have you just come now is that's such a good, like, I'm content. Why are you here now? And just the laughter. Woo! It's spooky. Spooky.
It is spooky. This one's so spooky. And the
I
lyric
know you
video
love the
gets
spooky.
I'm spooky is my main aesthetic. Very, very few people know that about. Well, now more people are knowing it about me, but like for a long time, that was just something I kept locked deep inside of me. That like I literally have a collection of cast iron ravens that people buy me because they know I like having ravens in my home, and like same thing with skulls. Like I have a variety of different skulls.
That's
that I just
incredible.
have.
No, my wife is regularly going on the record saying that she knows that it's only a matter of time before she just wakes up and she's like, I'm in my witchy phase now. Like she every time we go to our small like Pacific Northwest farmers market and she sees like the all dressed up and like the frills and the long like feather and like the all that stuff, she's like, yep, that's my future. But not yet, and walks away.
I welcome her into my, like, immediately she's welcome into my coven the minute she decides to come. So please, like, send her.
I will pass that message along, and I'm sure when you swing by, you'll get to meet her and you can pass it along yourself.
Amazing. I will literally make her so witchy, and it's going to be so great.
Oh, no.
Have you heard the tale of she who toppled the whole world with a winning hand?
Ooh.
She approached fate's ancient table, offered up her cause, and the more I sit.
It's not all connected, she said. And I know you said it is all connected, but that's even more blatantly like, it's all connected. It's all connected.
Ghosts that hang out with her.
Judgment comes, justice runs, and the hangman's blocking out the sun. You've played the fool once before, but now the emperor's at your door.
Oh, I'm gonna miss so many clues.
Will not meet your eyes, he'll be their deepest shame. The devil calls, the tower falls, you wish you'd never played their game at all.
Oh, that's wild. God, I wish I remembered more about what the different cards mean. I know them well enough that, like, I was recognizing, like, when you dropped it was like, Tower Falls, the Lover's Cut, like, I recognized all the card name drops. I just don't know enough about them to pick up on the clues and symbology as much. Symbolism.
And I will
Symbology.
say, like, This is the whole thing I wrote for this was like very beginner's tarot. So you don't actually know a ton about the cards to
Understand
to
the meaning.
reap all of the clues from it, because I didn't want it to be accessible to people, especially like there's a clue for Greek mythology nerds in here, like who like like if you know anything about the Moirai, like that is the Greek word for the fates, and so like who are like
I did know
spoiler,
that.
and so and like the tarot cards, like it does kind of, that chorus definitely paints out a picture of like what the path of this character is going to be, but you don't need to be like a tarot like practitioner to know that. Like, you can just kind of like, especially because I go with a lot of the basic interpretations of the cards, which like especially with the major arcana, which is what I work from in this particular song, it's kind of face value. Like the Lovers means like either romantic love or balance, like it's very like it's very, Tower falling is like a very catastrophic event happening, like stuff like that. And so
good to know.
Don't fret. You
don't
you
read
still
too
get
far into it.
Years went by. She left fate's admonitions far behind. Borrowed time should not be spent.
Oh my God, that's that. Woo-hoo!
Far behind. Borrowed time should not be spent.
Not be spent. So the crunchy punchy. The pam pam. It's so good. That's really good.
Still her kingdom grew. She took more chances 'cause she thought she knew how she was to end. If judgment comes and justice runs and the hanged man starts to block the sun, I'll play the fool, flee the war until the emperor's at my door. The lovers may not meet my eyes, but I'll endure their shame. When devils crawl up the tower walls, I'd rather play their deadly game than fall.
Whoa, horrifying. Don't like that. Whoa, what? Dang it, I don't want to go back because I don't like the visuals, but I want to go back because I want to hear the
I'd rather play their deadly game than fall. Suddenly the high
the fall. Suddenly, like, oh, that's so good. Woo, that's so good.
Yeah, I
And the
really
high
told
priest-
JP like go off and let it be your cinematic dream, because like if we're gonna go big, we're gonna go big or we're gonna go home for the tarot cards.
And who
he said
and who goes home?
received.
We're gonna go big or go home, and we're too traumatized to go home. So let's keep going.
Yeah, we can't go back now.
Because of the warning she forgot, and temperance she shakes her head, 'cause she knows how hard she fought. The world begins her towards the wheel, and with that the game was set. She cries, please spirits, give me strength, 'cause I haven't pulled dead yet. Judgment comes, justice runs, and the hangman's blocking out the sun. The magic man takes a bow.
Ooh.
I'll never reach the North Star now. The lovers will not meet my eyes. I am their deepest shame. The devil calls, the tower falls, the wheel is stopped, the tower falls, the empress crawls, the tower falls. I wish I'd never played their game.
Stop it. Oh, I'm putting pieces together. Oh, the puzzle pieces. Oh, the red string. Oh. Oh. like that. You know, never mind. I don't know if I will listen to your next album. I'm kidding. I wouldn't dream of it. But also, that was horrifying.
It's so...
That was cool.
Spooky.
It's very spooky. Okay.
Well, and what's funny is like I again, like I had an artist work on this one for me who like was specializing in like finding me like really witchy stock footage and stuff kind of weave together. And I got it back, but I don't like, and like I didn't have the budget to revise it, but I also didn't want to like tell this person like, oh my God, no, I'm not going to use it or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, and so I was like, okay, it's not spooky enough, so I'm going to make it spookier. And so I went in and then I started editing
some
like,
other things after the fact.
These were things that I added on top because I was like, how can I make this even more nightmarish than it currently is?
It worked.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That was the intended goal.
Well, I don't want to encourage you, but I will tell you it worked, unfortunately.
And it gets, I will say, it gets less spooky after this. This is like really like the big spook.
And the big like
climax. And then from here, well, you'll just have to see.
Interesting.
It's very, okay, it's very, there's a line in She-Hulk that was trending on TikTok for a while.
Which
where
one?
She goes, at first it was fun, then scary, then fun again, then scary again, and then it was spooky, but in a fun way. And I think that's kind of where we've hit scary. This was scary, and now we're heading.
Oh, I know exactly. That's so funny, and you did that character so well. Well, that was cool. I'm so excited to see what comes next. But honestly, most of all, I don't want to focus much on that because I still want to just sit in what Mother was, because that meant so much. Like that was beautiful. That was really, really good. Like that was such a journey that you've allowed people to accompany you on. Like you are taking people on a journey, but also you're like, a song can take someone on a journey, or a song can grab their hand and make them take the journey with you. Like it is so clear that we are walking alongside you while we are listening to these songs. And frankly, it was an honor to do so.
Oh my gosh, that warms my heart beyond belief to hear you say that. Like that, because that was, again, I can't say this enough times for it to run out. Like that was the whole goal of this, was to make sure that no one walks alone in any of that. So
I think it worked.
Was such an honor to walk with you today. It was so much fun too. Like you were such a joy to just be around and like bask in the presence of. And the fact that you were so nice to my music means the world to me as well. So thank you.
None of it was played up. I mean, you heard there were the like 3 total things that didn't vibe with me. I shared like that. I hope that makes you know that every other part I reacted to as joyously as I did was completely sincere. Because if I didn't jibe with it, I would have said it. And in the last 3 hours of our day, there have been like 2 or 3 total things that I didn't jibe with, because the rest of it was just that good.
Thank you.
So, thank you so much for accompanying me on this journey. Thank you so much for accompanying both of us on this journey. If you've made it all the way through all 3 of these videos, whoo, you've got a high attention span, and we appreciate you so much. So make sure you go support Teagan/Timo. Please make sure that you are supporting her on all the necessary platforms. And, you know, while you're looking on those platforms, try to support me as well, if you can. Speaking of which, wherever the patron names go, thank you so much to all the people who support me and make this content possible, and especially allow me to take risks with my content like this. Like this is something that could do incredibly well and be amazing for both of us, or it's something that the algorithm could sweep under the wayside. And either way, I'm not going to regret doing it, because it was a beautiful experience. And because of all of those names, I am not going to not be able to pay my bills if this video doesn't do well. You allow me to take risks like this. So thank you, patrons. Thank you, Teagan. And as always, gals, blokes, and all other folks, I will see you in the next video. Bye!